Yeah, so before we kind of get into all the stuff, because you wanted to go over quite a bit, so before we kind of get into that, can you tell me about you as a trader?
Yeah, so like right now I've been trading for like a year or so, and I started back in 2020 like under the IML, and then I've pretty much like quit them, and then I just started trading like on my own time, and like I really focused on like passing funding challenges and overall trying to grow my account. So that's where I've pretty much been so far.
Okay, so you might have said it, but I might have missed it. How long have you been trading?
Like a year, like
Okay,
since August of 2020.
okay. And have you traded like live accounts or have you been trading demo?
A bit of both. Like I started off um pretty much trading live because like the IML like they kind of made you trade live, and then like
Right.
eventually once I realized that I didn't know what I was doing, like then I started trading demo, then back to live, then back to demo, and like since then it's just been like that.
So what are you currently doing?
Currently like I'm working like full time as a well part time as a like as a pretty much a warehouse worker, and then like on the side like I'm trying to pretty much get uh funded, and so that could be my like my new full-time sort of
Okay,
career.
okay. Yeah, that sounds good. You wanted to go over quite a few things, I can see when you kind of booked the call. Is there one thing in particular that you want to start with?
Yeah, I would say like with the strategy, like when I started trading, because initially I had taken two FTMO challenges back in September and October,
Hmm.
and I ended up passing one, failing the verification, failing the next challenge, but pretty much I kept on trading on the demo account, and I was able to make the 5%, the 10%, and like I was trading a lot of price action, and then like over time, like price action, like especially like in December and January, like the markets were just really choppy, and price action just didn't make sense a lot of the times. So it's like,
Mm.
what would you prefer? Like, would you prefer like using price action or trading with like indicators and or like an indicator template?
Um, I think there's a few things in there. So, um, the first thing I would say is I know this is more of like an advanced thing. I don't have this in my own trading, so this was something that got passed down to me quite recently from a trader at SMB Capital. And he said that he has multiple strategies depending on what the market is doing. So
Mm,
I don't know what style of trading you're currently doing or what you're trading, but if you could have two strategies, so maybe one for a consolidation market, one for a training market, that way, when you identify that it's switched, you can then switch your strategy to then be, profitable in those scenarios. So um, that is a little bit more advanced because it's harder on your psychology and you've got to be quite disciplined to stick to those two strategies. Um, but if you can do that, then that would be good. For me personally, I prefer indicators. So I prefer a very rigid strategy that doesn't kind of let me think about what I'm doing. Um, the less I have to think, the better, to be honest, because if I have to think, I'll probably overthink it. Um, but it does depend on you massively. It you need to figure out what is best for you. Have you traded both, or have you only traded price action?
um, yeah, I've been kind of in the process of like. It's funny that you said like having multiple strategies, because I've been like trading with multiple strategies, and like I just recently like passed another prop firm like challenge,
Mm.
and like but I was kind of using a mix of both, and it was like, well, when the price action wasn't working, I switched to indicators. When the indicators weren't working, I'd switch to price action.
And is that
And
is that written down in a plan, or was that just you kind of making it up as you were going along?
uh well, I'm sticking to my trading plan within like my price action and my indicator strategies, but like I'm kind of like in the midst of that. I'm kind of winging it too, like kind of just doing
Yeah.
whatever I want, like depending on what the market's doing.
Yeah. Okay. So I think like if you can write it down, that is best. Because like if you can write down, so the way that I think about it is if you could give this to literally someone that has never traded before, and they'd be able to trade your trading plan, that is the level of detail. So like for me, whenever I'm doing it, I'll write down, go to this time frame, look at this indicator. If it's like this, do this, do this, do this, do this, and break it down into like as many steps as you can possibly do it. I try to aim for 15 steps. So try and break down your strategy or your trading plan into 15 steps. Um, it's kind of tough, but it helps when your psychology isn't quite there. You can literally just open up your trading plan, look at it, and just say, okay, what do I need to do, and just follow it. Like there's no kind of thinking involved.
Hmm.
So if you can do that, that's good. If not, then try and write down as much as you possibly can, because I know that price action can be quite um, it's quite hard to write down sometimes. Um, but yeah, so if you don't have a training plan, then build one. Um, and then, yeah, make sure you stick to the same strategies every time.
Okay.
Um, cool. So, are you currently in the process of doing a challenge or?
Yeah, I just recently like passed a challenge yesterday and like I'm hopping onto my stage two this Monday. So
Is that
like I was
FTMO?
on no, it's FMS like I don't know if you heard of Funding Made Simple.
No.
Yeah, it's pretty much another like platform with kind of the same sort of like pretty much all the same sort of well you have your like you have your $10,000 challenge, you have your like profit targets that you have to hit by the end of the month and to get passed and verified. So it's literally the
Right.
same thing, but it's just another platform.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Um,
Yeah, mainly like with the verification, like the last time I took a verification, like I don't know what happened to me because I was doing so well,
hmm,
like sticking to my strategy and sticking to my plan and having like a set amount of positions, but like with the verification, like I just got really like antsy and it was like everything was compelling me to take the trade because I wanted to get it over with, like, and
yeah.
I didn't realize that like you had like 60 days and I'm kind of like still like kicking myself in the teeth because it's just like if
Hmm,
I because there was a grade that and this is another part I wanted to get into is like my psychology like while I'm in a position because I was in a position and I got scared that I was gonna lose the position because I was like risking 2% and like I was just really scared to lose. That position ended up like hitting like a I think it was like a 7-1 later, but I closed the position early when it was in drawdown and like
right.
ended up violating like the max daily loss because I opened so many positions. So like that's kind of just my story. I'm still kind of emotional about it, but
I mean, so when you were so basically you stopped following your plan. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, in terms of like max positions that I would take for the day, yeah.
Okay, so when you were yeah, okay, so when you were taking those positions, the days where you over traded, um, were you winning or losing?
Um That I don't know for sure. I think majority of the trades I took ended up being losers. I think.
So do you think it was you trying to get that money back, or do you think
I in my mind like it was like I saw a bunch of positions that had a lot of like potential to hit 1 to 2, 1 to 3 RR, and I was just like, well, if I go into all of them, then I can just pretty much like if all of the trades hit 1 to 1, I could just close the position, all the positions,
Right,
and I would pass
right.
verification. But
Okay.
that clearly didn't work out. So
So so did you follow your plan 100% apart from opening too many positions?
yes, the only thing that I didn't do was like hold the position and just let it run. I ended up closing position like way too early, and I should have
Right.
just let myself get tagged out. Like if I had gotten tagged out, then I'd be like, okay, well, I did everything that I could have, and I just opened too many positions, and I opened a too high risk percentage. But
Hmm.
um, that but closing the position and then watching the trade, like pretty much falling asleep, waking up and watching the trade pretty much make 7%. I was just like, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's a few things as well though, because it's like if you are following your process and the trade goes against you and you lose, that's it. Like it's done, right? You followed your process. Um, Something that helped a lot of the traders that I coached was telling them to focus on the process, not the result, because the result is random, but the process is in your control. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So like you can follow that process every single day, but the result of that process is out of your control. So there's no point getting upset. There's no point getting happy, even like when it goes right, because it's irrelevant, right? You're good. Have you tested the strategy, by the way? Do you have like back tested data and all that kind of stuff?
So here's the thing is like why I actually like price action, because I mainly had a like price action based strategy. But the thing is that I can't, like I find it harder to backtest price action, especially because there's like so many different setups. Like there's trend line breaks and Fibonacci retracements and support and resistance. Like and then all the confluences that come into play. Like I find it hard to really like back testing, especially since I'm like I was kind of like swing trading where I'm like going on the daily and 4 hour weekly time frame. And like I'm going all the way down to the 5 minute for my results. And it's just hard to go back in replay mode in trading view and like kind of like take a look at it on like what pretty much daily positions on the 5 minute time frame if you know what I mean. So
Yeah,
like
yeah. Um,
so that sorry.
why are you saying sorry? Don't be sorry.
No. I said something. I was about to finish, but never mind.
Okay. Um, but yeah, so in terms of like, it's tricky to backtest it. Um, if it's a technical thing, like by technical I mean like the software that you're using, um, then that is something that you can fix. If it's something to do with how you're looking at the markets in previous data, it's going to be the same going forwards, isn't it? Like if you're thinking about all these different setups whilst you're looking at the backtesting stuff, it's the same going forwards, right?
Right.
Um, like when you're trading, you'll be thinking about the Fibonacci, the trend line, the support resistance, the highs that have been taken, the lows that have been taken. Um, Instead, maybe what you could do is simplify it. So pick like 3 or 2 price action elements, and that's your core. Like you could even just pick one, right? You could just pick fibs. So I'm only going to trade Fibonacci, and what I'll do is I'll send you a YouTube channel. Um, if I know obviously you might not want to trade fibs, but the point is that you can make money trading only Fibonacci. Um,
Mm.
I can't find it. I'm not sure. There's basically a YouTuber. He's quite a big one. Um, that only trades using Fibonacci, and yeah, so I can't find it unfortunately, but yeah, he only trades using fibs, and he's making a full-time income. So I mean, the full-time income part is pretty irrelevant, but he's making money consistently. So I think if you can pick like one or two price action tools that you want to have in like your little tool belt, I think that could help because it'll stop you from overthinking. And that's one of the main problems I had as well. That's why I mainly choose to trade indicators nowadays, because it takes the guesswork out of it a little bit. But okay, cool. Do you have any more kind of questions around that, or?
Probably like the last one is like, before I go through the list is, like which, because I'm like going after verification, like what should my mindset be, and like how many trades should I be taking per like day slash like per week, and should I set monthly or weekly profit targets?
Um, it's tricky, but there's a lot in there again. But in terms of profit targets, I always go monthly. Weekly is too much, and it can cause you to overtrade to hit those targets. Um, in terms of your mindset going into verification, you've already passed it once, so you know your strategy works. You know that you can execute that strategy consistently. So just keep doing what you're doing, right? There's no difference. Even when you're funded, there's no difference. Um, it doesn't change anything, right? If you go to your charts every single day and just execute your trading plan like you've been doing yesterday, you'll be fine. And it doesn't matter if you have winning trades or losing trades. If you just go to your charts every single day and execute your trading plan, you will make money if the thing that you're using makes money over the long term. Now, because you haven't back tested that, you don't know. So that's a little
Right.
bit tricky. But if you're confident in your strategy, so not confident in yourself, but confident in the strategy that it does make money, then you just need to execute that strategy, right? That you don't need to do anything complex. You just execute that strategy every day, and yeah, don't put pressure on yourself to trade. You've got, is it 60 days um, to make, I think, half the profit if I'm right.
Yeah.
So you know there's no pressure on you. I don't think you need to be trading every day. You don't need to be taking more than 2 trades a day. I don't know how much you're risking per trade, but like if you're risking 1%, you need like 1 or 2 trades and you're done. So if you're not 100%, the trade that you're looking at today is going to work, just don't take it. Or what you could do is just put 0.5% in instead. Um,
Right.
there's no pressure to actually take any trades. Um, it's I said this in the previous call as well. Excuse me. That it's better to be out of a winner than in a loser. So at the end of the day, you want to be only taking trades that you're confident in. Now that doesn't mean that you know they're going to be profitable because you don't know what's going to be profitable and what isn't. But um, trades that you're confident are going to work based on previous trades that you've taken. So yeah, I think just go into it relaxed, go into it knowing that you can do it and knowing that you've already done it. And there's no difference between the trading that you've done in the last month to the trading that you'll be doing this month. Um, yeah, I hope that helps. But yeah, let's get into the list because I know that we're halfway through right now, halfway through the call. So risk management, I try and keep this as simple as possible. Just enter the position with, just enter. So instead of scaling in, just enter the position straight away. Your full risk on that position that you would normally take, and just leave it at that. Don't do any kind of fancy stuff. Don't do trailing stop, scaling in, scaling out, take profit. like halfway up and then leave some on the table. You can do that later down the road, obviously, but for me, I just like to keep it simple. Now, it might not be the most efficient thing to do, but from a psychological standpoint, that's what I found to be easiest. Um, Going into the psychology that you wanted to go into, is there a part of psychology that you want to talk about? Because it's quite a broad thing.
Yeah, mainly like what is my mindset or what should I be doing like when I'm inside a position?
In my opinion, you should be closing the charts and go and do something else.
Okay.
In my opinion, I it's tricky because I don't know you well enough, right? So I'm just kind of giving you what I do, and in my opinion, as soon as I'm in the trade, I want to forget about it, and like that's genuinely my opinion. I want to forget. I want to come back tomorrow, and just do it again. If I had the option to never see the trade or my bank balance or how much I'm in profit on MetaTrader 4, I would. Because I don't want to be seeing it. I just want to be executing my trades. And then I'd like it where I could come back to it every single month and then just be kind of surprised at what my bank balance is. I think that would actually be quite a cool feature. So for me, I don't want to be seeing it from a psychological standpoint as well. But I don't know how good you are at being disciplined. So if you're a very disciplined person, then you can kind of check it and monitor it and tweak it as you go. If you're not a disciplined person, which the majority of people aren't, if you've had any kind of military experience, then I'd say go ahead and do whatever you want because you'll be a disciplined person. But if you're just kind of an average guy, then maybe don't do that. Um, yeah. So we covered in positions. So in my opinion, keep it as simple as possible. Um, Trading plan we kind of discussed to begin with. Amount of trades per day per week. In my kind of trading, I found that one trade a day is most profitable for me. And it's also easiest for my stress levels and all that kind of stuff, my mental health. So for me, it's one trade per day. Daily, weekly profit targets. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. I just do monthly profit targets. I don't really do even monthly profit targets. I do quarterly and yearly profit targets because I still think monthly is a little bit too close, in my opinion. Um, what is it like being funded? Um, I don't. Uh, I don't think it's really any different to just trading normally, to be honest. Um, and whenever I was funded, it was kind of I kind of preferred to trade my own money. I know that obviously I wasn't trading as much, but I did prefer to trade my own money because I didn't have anyone looking over me and knowing, if I mess up a trade or I don't know something goes wrong, my account isn't going to be closed. It's I'll lose however much I've lost, and then I can just carry on. Whereas whenever you're funded, if you mess up a little bit, you're gone. You're closed. It doesn't matter what your excuse is,
Yeah.
which is fair enough, to be fair, because you're not trading your money, you're trading someone else's. So, it's fair. What to expect after being funded? Um, I don't know. Like, what do you mean by that?
I mean, like in terms of trading, like how does I don't know, this thing, that's a tough question, but like what like it did was there like any changes to your like overall lifestyle once you got funded, or was it kind of like something that you just, like you already like, because you were trading with like live money, it was kind of just no different than trading on a funded account, or like
To be honest, I don't think I was funded long enough. Because whenever I was funded, I was live streaming. And then my lifestyle kind of changed, and I just kind of stopped trading it. Um, so for me, yeah, I don't think I was trading it long enough for my lifestyle to change. But from traders that I've kind of spoken to, it has changed their lifestyle, but not in a way that you'd probably think. Like they're not driving around in Lambos. Um, it's just given them more
freedom?
security. Yeah, well, for some of them freedom, but some of them it's just kind of given them more security, and it's given them a chance to not worry about money as much. Now, trading isn't something that you can rely on, so a lot of the traders that I've kind of spoken to have used trading to go into other things. So they've put it into the stock market, they've put it into real estate, they've put it into bonds. Um, some of them put it into businesses. It's not, you can't rely on trading unless, well, yeah, again, I haven't been trading long enough. So I've only been trading for 5 years. Now, I think you can trade for a long time, but it's hard. Um, I've spoken to traders that have been trading for 20 something years, multiple traders that have been trading for 20 something years. Um, and they're all very calm. They're all very they're not flashy at all. Um, it's very boring for them. It's just executing their trading plan every single day, and that's it. Like there's nothing exciting. It's not driving around in a Lambo. It's not showing off that you've got 15 girls around you. It's not, flashing a Rolex or showing up to a seminar in a Ferrari. Like it's just none of that. It's like literally just a normal dude just trading money every day, and it's just boring, right? There's nothing exciting about it. Um, yeah, I'm sorry if that's not what you wanted to hear, but um, from the most experienced guys that I know, it's boring, and yeah, they if they didn't if they could do something else, they would, but they make their money by trading, so that's just what they do. Um, it's not selling courses and all that kind of stuff. Or it's not going to sell any courses because there's a lot more exciting courses out there. Um, but yeah, I think if you are actually looking for something serious and you're looking for trading to be something that you can do for 20 years, then get kind of used to it being boring, um, and not wanting to do it. So I think the faster you can get to that, the better, in my opinion. Things to look out for. I would say if it sounds too good to be true, I mean, most of the shit in trading industry is complete bollocks. I think stick to yourself. If you can find a person to trade with that is focused on the process, not the money, try and just be friends with them as much as you possibly can, because you don't want to be around people that are focused on the money, or then that kind of send a screenshot to you saying they made all this money on this, or telling you to get into this position, or um, yeah, just fast money, I guess. Just try not to be sucked into the whole Instagram influencer thing as much as you possibly can, and just kind of focus on yourself and try and improve every single day. Um, yeah. Is there anything else that you wanted to go over, or because that was quite
Mm,
quick?
I mean, no, I think you definitely answered all my questions. Like, I definitely like learned a lot, and I pretty much have a game plan that I can get into like when I like hop into this verification, and not just like the verification, but like whatever like else I want to do in regards to trading. Like now I have like a bulletproof plan, um like coming from somebody with way more experience than me, because I mean I haven't been trading for very long at all. So like for me, it's just like every step of the ladder is just e- it's like you're stepping up a ladder, but it's kind of each step is like equivalently difficult, you know. So
Yeah.
I expected it to get easier over time. It only kind of either gets harder or it's at the same level of like difficulty.
Well, the
So
thing, like people come into trading thinking it's easy,
yeah, that
then
was
yeah, then they'll like think, or they'll think that they're rubbish because they lost money or something. But then they'll do something good or whatever. Then they'll think they're amazing, and they think that they know everything. And then once they've been trading for a few years, they'll be like, "Oh, okay, I literally know absolutely nothing." And then they'll kind of start to probably make some money. Um, I know that was like I had that so many times where I'd make money, I'd get way too confident, and then I'd lose it all. Um,
yeah,
so I think staying humble is also a massive thing, and not letting the money go to your head, um, which is hard. It's really hard. Because I mean, the most that I've made is like £3,000 in a day, and that was like I don't know. I wanted to like spend it all instantly, and I thought I was amazing. I thought I was so good, and then literally less than a month ago, I lost like 13,000 in 2 days, and I
wow.
was like, ah, shit. Okay, back to square one. um,
Yeah.
so I think, yeah, just kind of not letting your emotions go too wild, right? Don't the highs try and limit them a little bit, and then the lows try and don't go too far. When you go happy and sad, I think is something that is really hard to do. But if you can do it, you'll be good. But yeah, let me know how the. Are you in Discord, by the way?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Whenever you kind of go through that verification, if you have any questions, send them over. And then let me know how it goes. Even if you fail, right? Which I don't think you will, but even if you pass, just let me know. Let me know how it goes.
Okay, for sure. And I follow you on YouTube and everything, so I'll definitely like reach out in the comments and stuff